You talked about this in great detail. I want everyone to go and have a look back at your Tuesday show, which is up now on YouTube. There is a person who claims to be somebody who works for the American network ABC, who was sort of in and around the preparation of the debate. They claim that there was a whole bunch of things that were done to advantage Harris, including a whole bunch of areas where the agreement was not to go there. Now, it's difficult to know if this is true. However, the reason that no doubt you talked about it, the reason we're going to talk about it now, is that if it wasn't true, ABC News should be able to easily come out and say it ain't true. The person also claims they have tape recordings that prove all of their points. So number one, don't wait 2 weeks, release them now. But secondly, doesn't this story get fuel because of ABC's reaction?
Yeah. And, late last night, ABC finally put out a statement. The story had hit live with the affidavit on Sunday early. I think it was before noon. And we went all the way through Sunday night, Monday daytime. It wasn't until late last night that they finally released a very generic, maybe 2-line statement saying, we complied with all debate rules. What? Yeah. That's your statement? What kind of a feckless statement is that? This affidavit, which I want your audience to know, could very well be a hoax. I am not putting my credibility behind this thing. Not yet. I'm sure you're not either. Yeah. But it's very specific in its allegations, at least. And the denial should be equally specific if, in fact, they did nothing wrong. As my good friend Phil Houston always says, he ran the CIA and invented he ran their deception detection department for more than 25 years. His methods are still used by law enforcement all over the world. The truth is a truth teller's friend. If you are truthfully able to say, we did not give her sample questions, we did not agree not to talk about her allegedly corrupt brother-in-law, we did not agree to not ask her about Joe Biden's mental fitness, we did not agree that we would fact check Trump only, and none of this will be found on a tape recording because we did not agree to it, you would run towards those facts. That's how your denial would sound. Their denial is, we followed the debate rules. Now, on the other side of the ledger, you have an affidavit that has a bunch of misspellings, that uses terms like Manhattan, New York, which is not, I lived in Manhattan for 17 years. That's not how you refer to it. You call it New York, New York. That's strange. I will say there are 5 boroughs in New York, so it's possible this guy or gal is trying to point out they are actually in the borough of Manhattan. That's also a point on their side. It's signed by a notary public, supposedly, but the seal of the notary public does not appear on the document. The person who leaked it on Twitter says it has been redacted because it potentially, I'm assuming, could have identifying information of the notary. So there are some sketchy, very sketchy things about this affidavit, including, with all due respect to the guy who posted it on Twitter, he goes by the moniker Black Insurrectionist. Yeah. He's gotten some 30,000 new followers as he's been teasing this. So this could be what we call engagement farming. And so time is going to tell, because if there really are recordings of ABC executives doing and saying any of this, they're toast. And if it's a hoax, it's actually kind of really interesting how this person has strung the internet along, fooled or at least intrigued people like Ted Cruz, billionaire Bill Ackman, Elon Musk, and so many others. So either way, it's a media story for us.
Now, I'm not stupid enough to ask you the same question that no doubt you receive 7 to 9 times via text message every day, which is, who's going to win? Who's going to win? But let's just do a little temperature check on what's happening here. The post-debate polls, generally speaking, better for Harris. There are some A-grade polls that are good for Trump. However, one thing that can't be spun, which is that she is not doing as well as Biden did, and Biden, of course, only won just in the states that matter. What's your sense of the race this far out? Not the result, but your sense of the race about just how neck and neck, or we are starting to see post-debate a preference emerge.
I think the numbers favor Trump, but the get out the vote effort favors Harris.
Correct.
The Republicans' ground game is weak. It is. Compared to the Democrats, it's just nowhere near in the same region. Right now, we don't exactly know what it is. The RNC has basically offloaded it to Turning Point USA. That's Charlie Kirk's organization. Charlie's amazing. He's a savant, but he's young. I think he's 30, if that. And this is not really what he does for a living. He's doing all he can. He's mobilizing young people. But who's running this thing? Where is the overhaul on how they went wrong 4 years ago? Trump has been saying to be suspicious of mail-in voting. My God, that's how you win elections. You bank all your vote in advance so that if it's really rainy that day or the kid is sick that day, your voters still have a vote in the ballot box. The Republicans haven't learned that lesson, and I'm very worried about that. I just think Trump's going to have to win by a lot in order to get over that advantage on election day. And I think Trump is on track to win. It's not by a lot. So unless that changes between now and November, it's going to be a nail biter.
And we'll be there the whole way. Thank you, Megyn. The Megyn Kelly Show, Sirius XM, are on YouTube, but most importantly, with us each and every week. Thank you, Rockstar.
Great to see you, Paul.